In Taekwondo lesson number 9, I showed you how to perform a flat fingertip thrust. The straight fingertip thrust uses the same tool, so the hand position is the same. So check out that video to learn how to form the hand properly. But with a flat fingertip, the hand's positioned this way, and with a straight fingertip, it's positioned this way. And it's used to attack the solar plexus, so it's always done as a middle technique. And it's done full facing, so it can be done in stances that allow you to be full facing. It's most commonly done in walking stance, but it can also be done in sitting stance, parallel stance, and X stance. And it's accompanied with a palm downward block, so it can be used with an attack. So if the opponent's attacking, for example, with a punch, you can block and thrust. And this is particularly useful for when the opponent's reach is greater than yours. Start by practicing the arm movements like this. The thrusting arm will move in a straight line, whereas the blocking arm will move in a curve coming down. And make sure it passes before the thrusting hand arrives. Okay. The palms will face upwards and slightly towards you. And there's a slight twisting action, but there's no need to overemphasize it. It's not necessary for the thrust. When bringing the thrusting hand back, avoid bringing it too close and tightening your shoulder. So you need to allow it to move slightly out. And then it will come forward in a slight diagonal. Now practice this from parallel stance to walking stance. So you bring the weight onto the balancing foot and go into a neutral position. And then as you wind up, go into the position you did before, and then you drop. As you bring this hand back, you'll naturally want to bring the shoulder back. It's okay to do that, it makes the movement natural, but don't pull it back because there's no need to twist into it. But there's a very slight shoulder movement there, helps jerk it forward, and then you could also extend very fast from the elbow to get a bit more power rather than just doing that. And when you finish the technique, the fingertip will be in line with your shoulders, and it will be on the center line. And the elbow will end up above the first two knuckles in this position. Okay. So practice that a few times. And then practice it stepping forward in walking stance. So here's an example. The straight fingertip thrust is one of the techniques in Do Santo, the third of 24 patterns in Taekwondo. So if you're a 7th cup, yellow belt, green tag student, you'll need to know this technique. And if you've been watching all the Taekwondo lessons so far, you'll know enough techniques to learn Do Santo. So I'll be covering that very soon. So that's it for today. So please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.